Hello, I'm Dr. Angie Eilers, the founder of Your Turn, which is student guidance software for middle school and high school students and their families. You could think of us as like the Google Maps for education planning. We ask students to put a pin in their educational destination, that is to set goals, and then we help them chart a course for success using their own data. I'm going to show you a use case in which counselors or other school personnel can use the Your Turn dashboard. There are a couple of ways to log on. If you're a Gmail user or a Google account user, you could log in using that account. Otherwise, use your school account, and you will be greeted with an overall dashboard that is a kind of summary of key variables to be tracking. You can see here the number of students who are missing more than 10% of school. We know that missing 10% or more of school puts students at risk of failing a class. Here is a summary of those students who have credit concerns. They may be missing a credit or two that's going to keep them off track from graduating high school on time. And here's a summary of students who have set goals that you can track. Another way to sort and separate out your students is, of course, a search feature by graduation year or by first or last name. I'm going to just do a quick search of all the students to show that you can also sort them by alphabet, by grade level, attendance again, and then these are the students who are missing 10% or more of school, and those students might require special intervention. And then by high school graduation. Your Turn has built in high school graduation as a default goal for all students. So again, these students might require special attention. We've also provided a dashboard so that select colleges and universities can be displayed here, perhaps the most common schools that students apply to, and then whether they've set goals for those institutions and whether they're on track for those institutions. And again, that can be sorted from high to low. Also on your console is the option to set goals. Again, we've built in high school graduation as a default goal. These credit requirements are pulled from your state graduation requirements. That's a function that Your Turn can provide for you. But if your school district has credit requirements above and beyond the state requirements, you can add more courses that are part of your curriculum. So let's say, for example, calculus might be a requirement that can be added, and that will show up under the math options. So now we've got a history of the classes that are associated with graduation, and the goals that can additionally be added are post-secondary educational goals. So let's say, for example, that you know that a number of your students might be interested in University of North Dakota. The lowest grade they would be eligible for that would be 9th, and highest, of course, would be 12. Let's say that there are 28 credit requirements to graduate from high school and be eligible, and that UND has a 3.2. I'm not sure of that. I'm making this up at the moment. And then it would be dependent on them graduating from high school. You can add other information like the website and any contact information, and then simply create that goal. So now we have another institution that is listed among the options that students can choose. And some more advanced options for you are subjects. If you rename or change the curriculum in your school district, your subjects are listed here. As well, you can generate reports. You can see the number of students, percentage of time they've been engaged on which grade level. You can also generate a report of those students who are of concern, both from attendance and from the credit perspective. So that would be generated as a concern status, and this is a printable report. And then finally, you can see over time goals that students have set and whether they've set goals for themselves. So on the dashboard as well, you can add more schools to your district. You can add more educators by simply typing in their first, last name, and an email, and that would create an email or an account for them. And then finally, there's a feature called tags. The tags are another way for you to sort or categorize your students. We've just generated some ideas here that are common and perhaps useful for your purposes. I'll show you an instance in which using tags is helpful. This is an instance where you might want to separate out all those students who have enrolled in the AVID class or who are in post-secondary enrollment options, and that way you can track those students according to tags that you've created for your students. In a moment, I'll show you how you assign a tag to the students. So let's jump back to the console and just simply grab a student who has set some goals. We'll take a look at Jack's detailed page. His GPA is in great shape, attendance is good. He has set goals for himself and it looks like he's on track for most of them. And here is a quick credit summary. And this same credit summary shows up on the students' dashboard that both the parents and the students can see, and they find this very helpful. They can see a summary of the courses that they've taken in the past, plus the grades, and whether they're missing any credits. This is a very helpful visual summary. Other functions on your detailed page of each student's page is the option to create notes. Private notes, let's say you just want to keep a record of his, just some kind of personal note that you want to create for yourself. Public notes, these would be notes that would appear on his page, and as well, he and his parents will both see that showing up on his dashboard. You can always remove these notes if they're becoming outdated. So I'll just remove that for illustration purposes. You can see where students have been enrolled in the past, who their guardians are. You can add guardians if you know that there's a new family member, or maybe the grandparents want to be involved. Here's the tagging option. Looks like Jack has already been tagged as an AVID student, but let's say you want to include him in the PSEO students. That way, when you sort by PSEO or AVID, then you can easily find Jack and all the other students who have been signed up with those particular themes. And then finally, if you're sitting with the student and you want to jump out to the student's view so that the student can see for himself what he sees, you can discuss with Jack what his areas of concern are. So again, this is exactly what Jack and his families see, and you can jump out into this student view so that you can share privately with Jack from just his perspective. In Jack's case, he has set some goals and he's on track. He can see what's keeping him off track of his goals. It looks like his GPA is just a little short of what is required to be eligible for this college or university. And the notes that you have sent to him appear on his dashboard. And again, Jack can see his credit summary the same way that you saw the credit summary. And he's on track for graduating high school, and he's on track for the kinds of colleges that he's aspiring to. And then finally, this has been illustrated in the student demo video, but this is what the what if calculator shows. In Jack's case, he might want to see what it would take for him to get to his reach school. He would need to just push himself to get to 3.5, and that's what it looks like would make him eligible for this university. So now Jack has a visual understanding of just a little bit of work will get him to his goal. I want to stress again that the parents and the students have this dashboard view, and the counselors and the school staff have this interactive dashboard that provides a variety of functions and features so that you can keep track of the hundreds of students assigned to you. I hope that's been helpful. Please go to our website and contact us if you need any support. And we've also got demos that illustrate everything we've talked about today on the website at www.yourturn.org. Thank you.